Welcome to Doors to Hope and Healing, an inside look at the many facets of work that is happening at the Department of Children and Families, between our staff, the families we serve, and our community partners. My name is Jaqueline Ford. I have had the honor of working for the department for almost 30 years. And although I may be familiar with many of the topics we bring to you, I have invited experts in those fields to help us dispel the myths and misconceptions that can often be barriers to our work. Join us as we open our doors and invite you to have a seat at our table. Welcome to Doors to Hope and Healing. I'm your host, Jaqueline Ford. Each week, we share stories that uplift, inspire, and remind us of the incredible love within Connecticut's foster and adoptive community. Today, we are welcoming back two dear friends on our show, Lori and Jay. The last time they joined us, they had just opened their hearts and their home to their son, Elias. Their journey touched thousands of viewers, and now their family has grown again in the most beautiful way. Lori and Jay are welcome back, and it feels truly like having them back home in our studio. Lori and Jake, welcome back to our show.
Thank you.
It feels like it was just yesterday that you were on talking about your beautiful love story with your son, and now you have adopted a daughter. So we're going to take our viewers through that journey. But for any of our viewers who may not have seen the last episode, which was, I think we talked 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
Now you're all seasoned parents, like we talked about off the set. We're going to talk a little bit about that experience with your son and then how your family has grown. But before that, if you can just both introduce yourself to the show. I'll start with you, Jay.
Oh, I'm Jay Katubig. I'm the adoptive parent of Elias.
Okay.
And I'm Lori Katubig, the other adoptive parent of Elias and Lucy.
Yeah.
Yes,
and Lucy.
Yes,
Lucy.
Both of them. And tell me, what do you both do for work?
I own my own business. I am in the trade known as a glazer. So I do a lot of like glass work, commercial installs and stuff like that. So that's, I'm in construction for the most part.
Good.
And I'm an occupational therapist, and I work in home health.
And that's a big part of our story with your son and how that all connection had come together. So I welcome you both here. So you have 2 children.
Yep.
And how does it feel to return back to the show?
Kind of wild.
Yeah, kind of wild. I'd say it is kind of wild. I mean, 3 years went by quick. He was like a little guy.
Yeah.
And now he's running around because when we got him, he was scooting. He was on the floor just scoot because he couldn't walk.
Yeah, he's come such a long way.
He's come a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure to get to know you both over the past 3 years in the Glastonbury community where the Olive Branch toy store is. So I've gotten to know you both, over those years as well. And so let's go back to that first chapter of your life. And you were very open about your struggles, about having a child and the infertility and the painful question, why us? And then you reflect on that time and you think, why us? And now you're not only the parents of Elias, but you also have Lucy. Tell us about that. How did becoming a licensed foster parent begin to shift that question of why us to now meeting Elias?
Yeah. So we went through years of infertility. And during that time, we just didn't understand why we were not able to conceive, why we were not able to have our own biological children.
Yeah.
And during our last round of IVF, we had started, or prior to that, actually, we had started the fostering classes and working on getting licensed. And then right after our last failed IVF round, we got a call about a month later that Elias needed a home, and we said, okay.
Yep.
And so it just was it was a really good fit, we thought. And
well, it was a good fit because you're an occupational therapist, and he definitely needed occupational therapy.
Correct. He was receiving occupational therapy service.
Right.
So at that time when we brought him home, and then as we got to know him and became, we were already in love with him, but like more and more his parents, we realized like this boy needed us, we needed him, and this is why we couldn't have our own, because we were meant to be his parents.
So tell us about Becky. So our viewers may not know, but Becky Brewy was the DCF social worker who kind of guided that whole teaming process for Elias. So what do you remember about the first time that Becky showed you Elias's picture?
Oh gosh, yes. We had our disclosure meeting, and he unfortunately wasn't able to be home at that point, but she had showed me, this is when they disclose as much information as they have about the child before you actually get to meet them or take them home. And she put up a picture from her phone that she had to her computer screen, and I looked at my computer screen. So it was like a screen within a screen. And I was like, oh my gosh, I just melted. And he was just like the cutest, chunkiest little guy, and melted our hearts.
And then you had your meeting with him for the first time. And what was that like?
Oh, that was also really amazing. We went down to he was in an emergency foster placement for about a month prior to coming to us. And we went down to where they lived and met him that weekend prior to bringing him home. And his foster mom at that point was also his occupational therapist. That's how she ended up realizing he needed to be removed from the home prior. And we went down and we met them, and we just kind of clicked. It went beautifully. And we have been friends with them ever since.
Yeah. Yes, and we'll definitely get to that. So he had Erb's palsy. Am I saying it right?
Yep.
So what is that diagnosis?
Do you want to do it or do you want to do it?
Well, you can do it.
Okay.
You're obviously.
So it's basically, it's an injury to the brachial plexus, which is almost like a web of nerves that run from the spinal cord through the shoulder and the arm. And my understanding is he was in the birth canal during birth, injured his nerves, and so he ended up being born with an arm that was essentially limp. So he had one, I think, 10-hour surgery where they harvested nerves from his legs and they put them into his arm in hopes of innervating some muscles in that right arm. And so it did work to some degree. And so he has some movement, some function. It's not quote unquote normal, but it's much improved. So he's a very resilient little guy.
Yeah, I can see just in these years and how active and just mainstreamed in doing all the activities that he is. What were the early days like? The surgeries, the occupational therapy, watching him grow and adapt. What was that like for both of you?
I mean, it's still a work in progress because obviously, for instance, he's in karate, and he sees the other kids and they're able to hit the bag, but they're able to hit the bag with both hands. So it's still kind of a struggle for him, but he takes it in stride for the most part.
But he can still do it.
He can still do it.
Participate.
Yeah, he still
which
participates.
Is a great example that you're teaching him that he can't. It's nothing he can't do.
Right.
Correct. Yeah, it doesn't It doesn't hold him back.
No.
He does. He's tried soccer. He's done karate.
Yep.
He wants to do soccer again.
Right.
So he definitely actively participates. He can dress himself. He can do all the things that we thought might be an issue and are turning out, he figures out the best way to do it for him, and he does it.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. So tell us about Jennifer and Ross. Those were his temporary foster parents. So from what I understand, Jennifer was his physical therapist?
Occupational
therapist. And she was a part of the family raising him, and she saw some concerns, brought it to the attention of the department. He needed a foster home, and they took him in as an emergency foster care placement, right? So what was that relationship like? And then how did we find you? How did that connection happen?
So basically, when we had his disclosure meeting, we found out that he was with Jen and Ross, and Jen wanted to go over a lot of the his needs with me prior to us taking him home to make sure we understood what his needs were. And so we had a really long conversation, and she realized I was an occupational therapist as well. So we kind of had that in common, obviously. Yes. And then we met them, and it started out as they didn't know if we would keep in touch, to be honest with you, and we didn't know either. And I think we just kind of formed some kind of instant connection with them. We just got along really well. They're just two wonderful human beings, and they love Elias like he's their own. And so we just kind of kept in touch. I think I would send her pictures, and and then I want to say that summer we got together with them. They came over to see Elias, and they, because they hadn't seen him in a few months. Well, she had seen him because she was his OT, but they hadn't seen him outside of the clinic since then. And so we got together one summer evening, and we cooked them dinner, and we had this little gathering, and we had the best conversation, and we just, I don't know, it just kind of clicked, and just things evolved, and we became really, really good friends with them, and to the point where we actually vacation together every summer.
Oh, I love that. And to our viewers who may have seen the segment when you were on 3 years ago, we surprised you by having Jennifer and Ross on the set. And because it's really, I mean, that's just a textbook example of how wonderful it can be when a child transitions from one foster home into his pre-adoptive home, and that all those relationships are maintained because you have that common bond and that love for your son. And what's better than that? When people love your child as much as you love your child.
Absolutely.
So I'm so glad to hear that you're still continuing that relationship. Please say hi to them for me.
I will. I know. We just saw them this past
I was like,
weekend.
wait a minute, they're here?
Yeah, no, they're not here. Not here. No surprises today. So let's talk about open adoption. So for our viewers who are watching, an open adoption is an agreement where, in the best interest of the child, it has to be in the best interest of the child, there's some kind of a connection to the birth family. You know, and it's designed, and there's a legal document, and as long as it's in the best interest of the child. So you have an open adoption with Elias's mom, right? So tell us about that and what brought you to that point when you met him and decided to adopt him, that you felt comfortable with that arrangement.
Well, you know, I had been emailing her back and forth. At a certain point, she was able to consistently communicate. And so we kind of established some kind of rapport via email. And then when it was coming closer to the time of adoption, we thought that, you know, we felt comfortable offering an open adoption. And so ours, you know, you have, like you said, you have certain terms. And so we did that, and she accepted that because I think in her heart of hearts, she knew that that was what was appropriate, in the best interest for Elias.
Right.
And so we do, and we've been holding up. We've both been, I mean, she as well. She reaches out probably more frequently than we're even supposed to, which is fine. I have no problem. I'm happy to share pictures. And so we see her at least twice a year.
Sometimes more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at where? Like, what are those visits like?
So
Well, sometimes we go to like, we go to like a kid-friendly place where they can play around and where she can like, catch up with him, see how he's doing. Like obviously she gets the photos, but like that way she gets to see him, physically touch him, and be like, hey, in his space. Takes a little bit to warm up, but
Yeah, sure.
we've done Chuck E. Cheese, and then we go out to lunch or something like that.
And who does Elias think she is, or understand at this stage of his life? Who is she in his life?
Oh, he knows her name.
Yeah.
And he says, I was in her belly. And we tell him a story, and he understands that he was in her belly and she wasn't able to care for him as much as, as she wanted to, or, and so she gave him to first Jen and Ross, because she knows who Jen and Ross were, because he knows they were his foster parents also. And then but he knew that she loves him and that she wants what's best for him. And so she had him come to us, and that's his story. And he actually sometimes will tell us, he told one of his preschool teachers once, and she goes, is this true? Because he said he was in her belly. And she's like, is that true? I'm like, yes, it's accurate.
It's accurate. He told the truth. He told the truth.
Yeah.
So why is it important for the two of you to maintain this relationship with his birth mom? Why do you think it's important?
He needs to know where his roots are. Because he's going to have those questions. Like he's going to have questions we can't answer for him. So I mean, it's important for him to know. Obviously, if it's healthy for him, and it works for everybody, that But other than that, it's like I feel like he really needs to know like his heritage.
Oh, that's really selfless of both of you.
He has a half brother that we also see.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And we keep in touch with. So, yep.
That's great. That's great. And that's, it's in his best interest for all of those connections to get made. Right. So tell us, how old is Elias now?
5.
He's 5 years old. And what are some of his favorite things to do?
He actually likes soccer a lot, which we were surprised because he told us he didn't want to play soccer. And we were like, okay. And then he's like, we see him after school program. And he's playing soccer. I'm like, I thought you didn't like soccer. I like it. Can we play it? I'm like, we already. I was like, the sign-up sheet's already done, buddy. We have to wait till spring. He's like, oh, all right. So he likes soccer. He loves it.
Good. He got to taste a little bit of it.
He did. He likes his karate. Obviously, he loves his TV, so we have to keep that at a minimum. Once we do, like usually just the weekends.
Right.
He loves to draw. He loves art.
Loves art.
And then he's actually really been, since starting kindergarten, he's really been into practicing his writing and his letters and figuring out what, like sight words and learning to read. He asks questions about what things spell all the time.
Yeah.
So it's kindergarten? Is that? Yeah. Kindergarten. This is a big year.
Yeah. Tons of learning.
What amazes you most about him?
I think just how resilient he is. Like
he's smart. he's a
very
smart
bright.
little boy, and it's like they watch you, and then like you're talking to them, and then they have their own personalities, and you're just like, you're arguing with them, and you realize you're like, man, this logic makes a lot of sense. Like
He won.
you're still in timeout, but man, it made a lot of sense. And you're like, ah.
Yeah.
So
An old soul, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, for sure.
Yeah.
And just how resilient he is. Like he's been dealt a tough deck of cards in life with his arm, and just his start to life was really hard, but
Yeah.
he's
But it shows you
not
what
letting him stop him.
love and commitment and dedication and the Rosses and his birth mom and just what, all of that together.
Takes a village.
It absolutely does. And you being open to that village and not, kind of putting up those barriers and those boundaries so that you can raise him alone. It's a testament to the two of you, how resilient he is. So now let's talk about Lucy. So then you have this sweet little girl, Lucy. How did you first learn about her and how old is she now?
So she's three now.
She just turned 3.
In August, yeah. So she's 3, and she, after we adopted Elias in November, earlier, I guess in the early spring, we became recertified. We recertified our licensure for foster care, and so we decided to go back on the list, and I was like, come on, don't you want to
I don't really think it happened quite like that. I think it was more like, sweet, let's get another one. And I was like, what? We're just catching our stride. Wait, what? And you're like, oh, we're on the list again. And I'm like, oh.
So you
This
knew
is
you
great.
wanted to add to your family and not just foster, not
Correct.
foster with reunification. You were looking to add to your family.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. So exactly. So, and then we got a call. We got a couple emails, and and some of them were like, well, I don't know if that one's a good match for us.
I think it was like 3 or 4.
You'll get emails and calls about children that are, needing placement, and sometimes they just don't. It doesn't sound like a good fit, and so she did, and she had a difficult, first few months of life, and so I actually sent her
RSV.
information to Jen, who's a pediatric occupational therapist, to get her opinion on it, and so she said, no, I think they'll be fine. She'll be she's, and so we did, and so we met. We went down there, and she was in foster placement since birth, since coming home from the hospital. And so we went to her foster mother's house, and
7 months at the time.
she was 7 months, and then we brought her home at 8 months.
Yep.
Wow. And how did you feel when you learned that you were matched with her, that you were chosen for her?
It's kind of like a whirlwind.
Yeah.
That's what it was. It was like, whoa, wow. All right. This is, wow. This is crazy.
Think she was, I think
Because she was like a baby.
she also was considered medically complex.
Yeah.
So I think because we had that experience, that's why part of the reason why we were probably chosen.
Yeah.
And so, it was quick. It's always a quick situation.
I remember getting a text from you, and I was like, yay, so excited for you.
Let's get a crib. Let's get a.
Yeah, kind of move fast
Yes,
there.
exactly.
No, we had to,
Yeah.
we had to really move fast. It was
So
quick.
what was Elias's reaction as a big brother having this? He's been it for a while, and now he has to share the two of you.
He was okay.
At first, he was okay because he didn't quite understand. But then when he started to realize, like, obviously, like,
She's
there's a bunch of shifting going on, where it's like, he would get jealous a little bit. He still gets it like that now, but
Yeah, it's understandable.
Typical
It's just
sibling
typical.
stuff.
sibling
Yeah.
stuff.
Typical sibling stuff.
Yeah. But no, I mean, they are siblings. Like, they fight like siblings. They love each other like siblings. They, and we made him feel special. We got him a Big Brother shirt, a Big Brother book to make him feel like he was part of it, so he knew that he was also, we still loved him. It wasn't just about her. It was about both of them. So.
Right. Yeah, and he has a role to play, right? As the big brother. Absolutely. What moments between them melt your heart when you see that happening? Like you said, they're siblings. It's kind of organically just happened. When you see them together, what melts your heart about that sibling relationship?
Like, he likes to try and pick her up, which is really sweet. I actually just saw a video of from like 2 years ago trying to like go in and give her a kiss. Like, you can tell they love each other for sure. Like, and I love that she wants to do everything he does. Like, she just looks up to him. She idolizes him.
she does.
Yeah.
She really does.
Yeah.
And you come from a big family,
do.
Lori, with lots of siblings. So you know what that relationship, how important that is. That's wonderful. So tell us about Lucy. What are her little joys, her habits, her interests?
She's a very smart girl. Very smart. Like, she figures stuff out. Like, she's super smart. And like, if you give her, if she's got something on her mind, she's so stubborn, she will not let it go. She's like, I need to do this. This is what we're doing now. Especially if we don't do something, like we take her to bed. She always has this routine where we're like, all right, we got to brush our teeth. And then after you brush your teeth, you go to the bathroom, and then we go, to the bath. If you don't do it in that order, she gets so angry. No, we're supposed to do brush teeth. No. And I'm like, baby girl, it's fine. Let's go bath first. No. And I'm like,
She likes that routine and that consistency
she
that
does.
you kind of set up for her.
Yeah, she's very sassy.
She is.
And things that come out of her mouth, I'm like, how old are you? I feel like you're 13 and not 3. She loves running she loves gymnastics, so she's enrolled in gymnastics. She takes gymnastics classes every week.
loves her Mickey Mouse.
Loves her Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse. So, typical girl, dolls, all the things.
So what are her limitations? I know that you mentioned that she was medically complex.
So she has respiratory issues. I mean, she's actually gotten a lot better.
Yeah,
so
when we first got her, she was.
Yeah, when she first got her, when we first brought her home, she had a lot of wheezing. It was bad.
Yeah.
But we have a good maintenance program for her medicine, and then we have a sick protocol for when she starts to get a cough or a cold, because inevitably it happens every couple months in daycare.
Yeah, sure.
But no, so she has asthma. So when we first brought her home, we were on nebulizers twice a day. She did not like nebulizers, so that was a challenge.
Oh man, it was such a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
She is so strong.
Yeah.
That little girl's so strong.
Yes.
Oh
So,
man.
Yeah. So she essentially has respiratory complications, but as she grows older, it's improving actually, which is great.
Yeah.
And now, do you have an open adoption with Lucy as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me about that open adoption.
So it's just with her mom.
Yep.
And so it's the same terms as we have with Elias's. And so we communicate via email. I send pictures at least quarterly, more frequently because she'll reach out and I'll send her back some pictures, and we meet once a year. We usually do it around her birthday. And
So it's the same,
Yeah.
the same reasoning and rationale behind it all.
Yep.
I think that's wonderful. So this is National Adoption Awareness Month, which is the reason why I invited you back onto the show, because you're a testament to the work and opening up your home and your heart. So if our viewers who are watching are thinking about making the call, and they don't know if that they're ready for this, or whether they want to foster or they want to adopt and add to their family in that medically complex piece, what would you tell them?
These kids need help. If you can do it, do it. The kids need help. There's a lot of lost kids out there. A lot of kids that just don't fit into the system for whatever reasons. They all need help.
So make the call, right?
Yeah, make the call. I mean, it is the best thing we ever did.
Yeah.
Truly, like it. I don't know. This is how we created our family, and we can't imagine any other way at this point.
No.
Well, I thank you both for opening up your family and opening up your home and taking in these 2 beautiful children and raising them with the love and the village that you have. And if you decide that you want to adopt a 3rd, I'll have you back on the show.
We have no more bedrooms. We're out. We're out of space.
Well, thank you both for being on.
you.
It's been a pleasure to have you. Jay and Lori, their openness for love for Elias and Lucy and the way they honor every part of their journey is such a gift to this show and to every viewer who is watching their story. To our audience, if you are touched by today's conversation, if it has stirred something in your heart, we encourage you to learn more about fostering or adopting. These are children across Connecticut waiting for families just like yours. If you are interested in learning more about foster care and adoption in Connecticut, please call 1-888-KID-HERO. Thank you for watching.
Nick Augustino right here at the East Side Restaurant. We always have the complete full dinner menu. Knockwurst, bratwurst, sauerbraten, potato pancakes, red cabbage, rice pudding, cream pies, all the desserts that Germany had to offer. I always do something different. Yes, I do. I brought seafood to the beer garden at the East Side Restaurant. East Side Restaurant, your German destination restaurant in Connecticut. Tiki-taka, hoy, hoy, hoy!
Sometimes life just happens. Don't worry. Farmington Motorsports will get you back on the road and at a fair price. From towing to tires, emissions to transmissions.
Our ASC certified techs do it all.
Farmington Motorsports is a family-run business. We're a Napa Auto Center and AAA approved. We work on all makes and models from preventative maintenance to major repairs.
And every repair is backed by our 2-year, 24,000-mile nationwide warranty.
When life happens to you, don't worry. Farmington Motorsports.